Yeah, yeah, it's just super great. Love to see it, but going on. I believe we're not even taking a break yet again. Just trying to really keep up the fast pace of these matches here as we're going to go into Nightmare versus Oro Jackson, back to back for Oro Jackson and back for us as well, going as fast as we can.
I mean, it's the back to back to back for us. We just be rolling. I mean, there's the break, and it's over. The break's over. All right. Hope you guys are ready for this epic losers semi set. Winner moves on to losers finals to take on Greasy Goblins. Loser is going to be knocked out of this tournament at fourth in this best of three set between Nightmare and Oro Jackson. And I mean, Nightmare is an established team. Oro Jackson is an established team. We know these are both strong teams. I'm excited to see how this all shakes out.
I mean, Oro Jackson, dominant play against Tempest there, but also we have seen Nightmare beat Tempest before, so it's really anyone's game here. Tempest did put up a pretty good fight. They didn't get knocked out, and they were able to get that really good last minute push in that first game of that last set. So, it's you're excited, I'm excited, but the real set here is, will I win against my currently developing headache?
We've battle with the headache is currently. I mean, I think the headache's up 2-0 right now.
Vote in Twitch chat right now. Who do you think will win? No, I'm just kidding. We ball. We absolutely ball. But yeah, this is gonna be a great set. I'm super excited. I believe this is the last set in losers, right? I know how Double Elim works.
No, you don't. We have one more after this. We have losers semifinals, and then we have losers finals after that, and then we go on to grand finals. And so, I mean, you're getting there.
I'm learning. I'm learning very slowly, but I am learning.
You're losing your future prediction. You're losing your double elim skills. What's next?
Losing against my headache.
Yeah, just don't lose your Splatoon skills, or then I'm in trouble. Okay.
Drink your water, kids. Drink your water.
Drink your water. Always drink your water, and maybe your Red Bull too, but most of your water.
I can't do caffeine. You know this.
I mean, hey, maybe it helps you beat the headache, because then you have something else to worry about instead of that headache. So, I don't know. That's definitely how caffeine works, right?
Yeah. Looks like the maps that we're going to be seeing is Rainmaker, Scorch, Gorge, Tower Control, Mako, and Splat Zone's Ink Blot. 3 classic stage, two classic stages, and one that's a bit odder to see. Rainmaker, Scorch, Gorge, definitely one of the better Scorch Gorges, but
it's one of the less bad Scorch Gorges.
It's the least offensive Scorch Gorge. Clams is also alright.
Clams is definitely less offensive, but Rainmaker Scorch Gorge is the second least worst.
I mean, yeah, as long as you can get that first checkpoint, you're golden. You're absolutely gaming if you can get past it. But it's just like Clams, where that it's so important to get to the choke point. But the choke point is just the same. You do have that left option still, but it's not great, to be completely blunt. So, I don't know. It's a stage. It's one of the stages in the game. It's one of them.
I just love the dichotomy of Rainmaker Scorch, where, I mean, you get a push and it goes to like 65 or above, or you get a push to 6 or below. And
yeah,
there's really no in between. And if there isn't in between, something went wrong.
Yeah, we in a previous set we saw Clamlet Scorch Gorge get really stally with pushes of like 20, 25, just get constantly thrown out here. Rainmaker could be the same, but these are two different teams. This is a different mode. It's anyone's game. You don't know what to expect until you've seen this game one, then we can start getting some gears turning and rubbing our brain cells together to come up with some analysis. But without seeing these teams go toe to toe, it's hard to know what to expect.
It definitely is hard to know what to expect. It's pretty hard to predict the future, as we've seen at multiple points in this broadcast. But
you can shut your mouth.
But I mean, yeah. Again, these are just really strong teams. At this point in the bracket, we just have only strong teams left. We have what? What are these seeds anymore? We have seed 1 sitting in grands. We have seed 3 sitting in losers finals, and then we have seeds 5 and 2 duking it out to move up there. So, I mean, 4 of the top 5 seeds are left in this bracket, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But we're getting right into this. Barry sticking on the heavy sladling, and we're going
to see
double splash T-Tech machine on the side of Nightmare.
Yeah, a more aggressive comp from the side of Nightmare, but we did see last set See, we saw how Oro Jackson can deal with these more aggressive teams, just the stopping power of the heavy, the stopping power of their 2 crabs, and the machine. They're all weapons that deal with aggression against them pretty well here, but this is going to be a massive scrap fest in mid. 1 down from the side of Oro Jackson, meaning that Nightmare is going to be at a bit of advantage in this first fight here, but they don't have control of mid quite yet here, as, you know, when the heavy's still staring at you, you don't have control. When the splashes are staring at you, you don't have control. The machine's going to be throwing fizzies, but the tri-strikes are going to be coming out. The crab is going to be online, and it looks like Nightmare is going to have the confidence to start pushing up just a little bit more here. We see Joe on the splash here in a very cheeky spot, hoping to maybe get some surprise picks on Oro Jackson, and we'll see if they can get right here.
Yeah, but right now, Nightmare are 3 dead. It's just that machine left alive, and it's going to be Oro Jackson getting that first push of the game. They're going to be going straight for that first checkpoint, protected by the fire and the flames of that Booyah Bomb, breaking that first check easily. Machine goes down on the side of Nightmare too. Is this going to be a big push or a small push on the side of Oro Jackson? Only time will tell, but it's just the heavy left alive, left alone on this, or by this Rainmaker here, and they're going to have to wait for Oro Jackson to jump back in, and I think that's going to be enough time. Yeah, the Berry's going to disengage, and it looks like Oro Jackson's only going to get that push at that first checkpoint.
That was some real fast playing from Oro Jackson, though. As soon as they got the advantage back, they took it and they ran it and they got the checkpoint in the blink of an eye, and they still have control of mid here. This is going to be where it's going to start to get scary for Nightmare, as we've seen here. Oro Jackson is fantastic at maintaining control. I say that, and then they go 3 down. It's only the splash left alive, but the splash is going to be duking it out here with the other splash. Gets taken down, but not before slowing them down just a little bit and making it just that little bit harder for Oro Jackson to, you know, for Nightmare to take control of mid back, at least as fast as they could.
I mean, they're not able to get too much control before Oro Jackson comes back, just because he respawns so incredibly quickly in this game, and Oro Jackson just has so much pain control in mid right now. Gets the pick on the splash with the crab tank, gets the pick on the machine as well with the crab tank. Crabs is just absolutely ridiculous in this match right now. It's just the T-Tech left alive for Nightmare. The splash is just coming back from spawn. Strikes are going to delay the push forward a little bit longer from this Rainmaker, but even still, Oro Jackson is still up, still alive, still trying to just make pushes and make threatening plays that just takes so much space and control so much space that it's hard for Nightmare to move in response. The splash is just annoying them all on the left side, just forcing them to look at the splash and not the Rainmaker itself, as, I mean, Oro Jackson is able to slowly push up.
Yeah, that left route isn't the greatest to push from, but it can be a viable flank option. And we're going to see Storm here go for the Rainmaker. Does get the pick, but gets taken out by themselves, and that puts a Rainmaker in a really awkward spot. So we're going to see how both of these teams have to react to that, if they're just going to let it reset, if they're going to actually try to go for a push from there. It's going to be interesting to see crab on crab action out on the field. Pelu, you know, using it to allow their team to get a little bit more control, have a little bit more breathing room in that choke point. And now it's Oro Jackson is pretty hard on the defense, not entirely out of the game yet, but Storm is looking really good for Nightmare in the prospects of a potential push here.
Yeah, absolutely. Nightmare looks incredibly poised to make a push themselves, and I mean, they don't really have a choice here. They have under a minute and a half to do so. Wavebreaker's going to come out. Booyah Bomb is going to come out on the side of Oro Jackson for the defense here. And I mean, here's the burst bomb spam. Here's just the spam of all the options Oro Jackson has on this defense. But regardless, Nightmare is going to break that checkpoint here. And that's going to be 2 down on the side of Oro Jackson. 3 dead. It's just the splash. This could be a big push here from Nightmare. They get the pick on the splash. That's the lead. Here's the push. How far are they going to go? 33, definitely a strong push, but not as strong as it could have been. But I think Nightmare is going to be content with that, pushing it down to 33, and Oro Jackson has less than a minute to respond.
Yeah, with only a minute left on the clock, you're not too upset about that. It's going to take... You've seen how kind of slow the pace of this match has been with how long it's been taking these teams to get the control that they need to even get through the checkpoint. And it's going to take even longer for Oro Jackson to take the control that they need to get all the way down to 33 like Nightmare did. So they're not feeling too bad about themselves. They just need to be able to hold. They need to keep their defense on lock, and most importantly, they need to not wipe. But with their specials up and with getting that pick on one of the splashes from Oro Jackson, it looks like they're pretty set here. Storm is going to go down on that T-Tech. 2 are going to go down, but the Crab and the Booyah are great for holding. And with them backing up into a slightly safer position, it looks like they might be able to, you know, kind of jam themselves in. But look at that. The Crab is going to go out. One of the splashes gets picked. Wavebreaker's going to go out, but it's looking like it's going to be really difficult for Barry here to even think about picking up, let alone getting the push in a bit, like 30 seconds or so is all they have on the clock.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have more like 50 seconds left on this clock just because of the Rainmaker timer, but you can see Nightmare just throwing all they have to just delay that Rainmaker as much as possible, because now Oro Jackson only has 40 seconds to get to 32 points, which is just not a whole lot of time, and Nightmare just exercising such a great defense. Here come those tri-strikes to stall it out even longer. This Rainmaker timer is approaching 30 seconds. Oro Jackson does have a bit of a window to move up here, but yeah, that clock strikes 30. They do not have a lot of time to play with here. They kind of have to start moving. It's just two alive on the side of Nightmare here. Oro Jackson starting to push forward pretty aggressively, almost at the point of getting more points on that board. There we go, past 68, past 60. Not quite enough to get this lead, though.
It's getting
not
dangerous.
safe to push yet. It's getting so dangerous. The clock is running so low. Probably about 15 seconds left, and they're still 20 points away. Rainmaker's being pressured, being shot at. That's not going to be enough.
They knew that they had to play it patiently, but when you have a clock above your head, and when you know that if you run out of that timer, you're dead and the game is over, it's not easy to play it patiently. They did their absolute best, but if they just had a little bit more time, you could have seen them absolutely taking it. But as it stands, game one is going to go to Nightmare, putting them at the advantage for this set. They only need to take one more game to continue on to the last match of losers? Question mark, I believe. I'm so smart. I love double elim. And I mean, if you're gonna take a match, Tower Control Mako is a place to do it on.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But both these teams kind of fighting for the chance of a grudge match here. Oro Jackson was sent into losers by Greasy Goblins. Nightmare was sent into losers by Zora Power. So definitely some grudge matches on the line. Some scores that could be settled here. But first, these two teams have to get through each other first. Nightmare obviously in a great position, up 1-0. Oro Jackson has to win the next two, starting, of course, on TC Mako. And TC Mako, definitely one of the more interesting stages to do, just because of how the checkpoints are laid out here.
Yeah, it's really interesting, you know, at that first checkpoint, you're so exposed. Once you push past that first checkpoint, you get the option to get up onto their snipe and really show your aggression, show how well you can spawn camp, show your competitive side. And we're going to see what these teams run as we're going into it. I don't expect too many changes, except for Barry being on that leader. Really going to make it hard. We're going to see how good they are at, you know, stopping any breakaway pushes like we saw from Nightmare there on the last game. So let's see how this goes.
Yeah, I mean, pretty similar comps all around, other than Barry going on the signature E-leader. I mean, it's their hallmark. It's what they're known for. It's what you see Barry on that E-leader, and you always sweat a good bit, because Barry does not miss that many shots. And I mean, already Oro Jackson just has such a strong opening here, getting 3 dead on the side of Nightmare. It is just one splash left alive. The splash gets the pick on the machine, though, and this behind tower popping that crab.
Crab looks like it's gonna get shredded here, but did get a good amount of value. That did, you know, really slow down Oro Jackson's push, as they had a crab to think about instead of just holding forward as far as they could. And now Oro Jackson is gonna have to recoup, is gonna have to kind of get their specials again to try to take back that advantage. They are at a disadvantage with numbers here, and that crab getting canceled just makes it work. It's just the machine and the Ealer out on the field right now, and Nightmare is gearing up for a push. They are gonna touch first checkpoint here, it looks like, if they don't get picked off by the E-leader, that is.
Yeah, I mean, right now, this leader just trying to exercise defense here by this first checkpoint. They are able to defend their lead just a little bit, but I mean, it's not a strong lead. It's not going to hold throughout this game. Both these teams are going to get a much stronger push, and it looks like Oro Jackson is trying to be the first to do it. Has control of that tower right now, has a slight man advantage here, trying to get up 2-4, but the T-Tech actually able to get the pick on the splash here on the far right side of the map. Crab is being popped. He gets another pick as well on Barry on that charger. And it looks to be that Nightmare is the one trying to push ahead pretty aggressively here. That's a delayed wipe on Oro Jackson. Splash is just now coming back from spawn, trying to defend that upper left area right now. But Nightmare still staying strong as they push to that first checkpoint and get that lead.
This crab is going to come out pretty soon here. Crab on crab violence coming out at you. It looks like Nightmare is going to be the one to lose, but that's still... Oro Jackson's crab had to focus on Nightmare's crab instead of actually looking forward at the objective. And Nightmare getting down to the 50-point mark, looking like they're going to be in a good spot to potentially think about getting the second checkpoint here. A lot of the players on Oro Jackson are up and actively defending, but the crab makes it so difficult for them to exist. Either has a good view on the tower, does get the pick, gets 2, but the crabs are still there. They still are holding mid, and Oro Jackson is not going to be able to push out as fast as I bet they want to.
Yeah, Oro Jackson only able to stop that tower when it gets to the 36-point mark, which is pretty difficult to get, and especially on Mako, where breaking that second checkpoint is so difficult. So Oro Jackson definitely has a mountain to climb, and I mean, their backs are kind of against the wall here. Nightmare is 1 game away from winning the set. Oro Jackson doesn't have a checkpoint to their name here, and they're going to have to start this push quickly at that first checkpoint here, has a slight number advantage. Team Tech is down. That first checkpoint is going to go in favor of Oro Jackson here. Booyah Bomb is going to be thrown at the natural defense point, but I can imagine it was used a little bit early.
Ooh,
Ab gets taken out though. I think, yeah, that was a snipe, I think. And all of a sudden, Nightmare is 3 dead. It's just the T-Tech alive on that snipe area. Oro Jackson might get this lead.
That's going to be the lead here. And with all 4 players up, some specials starting to get charged and online, it's going to be certainly interesting to see how they further this lead and if Nightmare is going to be even able to respond here. Looks like the players of Oro Jackson are starting to get flushed out, but they still have a very, very strong mid presence and aren't going to go down easy. Leader going down, which does weaken their defenses quite a bit, and so does the machine. The Nightmare's machine getting, I think, 3 all on their own, meaning that Nightmare has another chance to push. They're still getting picks. They're still pushing forward, charging their specials so they know they can get it. And as Oro Jackson's players roll out again, it's really how hard they have to push in order to get, just make sure that Nightmare doesn't get it back.
Yeah, but Nightmare has quite a hill to climb here, but they're already pushing for that second checkpoint.
Ooh.
They got nice fall-off damage from that splash on the side of Nightmare, and all of a sudden Nightmare at that second checkpoint, they have a hefty man advantage at their hand. It's just the machine coming from spawn. The rest are coming from spawn right now, but that second checkpoint is gone. They're going for their lead themselves, but the tower stopped at 21. The splash is not quite able to monitor it. The machine gets such a nice defense, but the machine is now down.
Just the splash.
It's just the splash. That's the wipeout. That's the third checkpoint that's being reached. Broken immediately, and he either gets the snipe at the 11th hour, but it's not enough. Nightmare gets the knockout, gets the game, and gets the set, and moves on to Losers Finals.
Absolutely great playing from Nightmare there, not letting Oro Jackson's absolutely phenomenal defense get to them even a little bit. They found the holes, they knew what to exploit, they used their specials fantastically in their pushes, and they made it. They absolutely made it, and that's going to be really great for them. Oro Jackson is out. Which is absolutely crazy, but that's that's how it crumbles. Nightmare moving on.
Yeah, Oro Jackson out at 4th. Commendable effort, and I mean, we saw them dispatch Tempest just a bit ago, but just came up just short up against Nightmare, and now it's going to be up against Nightmare and Greasy Goblins in Losers Finals for the chance to not only make it to Grands, but to have a rematch up against the team that sent both of them in losers, being Zora Power. But before we get onto that, we have to go to a quick break, but make sure to stay tuned, because not only do we have the rest of this tournament to watch, we have a surprise little announcement at the end for those that stay tuned all the way to the end. So take care, don't go anywhere, we'll see you after this break.
I need this break. My brain is absolute mush. See ya.